Hello, piano people, Disclavia fans, and Piano Stream fans, and Piano Disc fans, QRS fans, music fans. I have been asked a question which I will attempt to answer not in a document, but I'm going to do it visually. And the question is, what's your favourite film? Actually, my favourite film is Philadelphia with Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington because, as two lawyers, Denzel Washington says to Tom Hanks, "Now, I want you to explain this to me like I'm a 4-year-old." And therefore, my apologies to people who already know this, but an equal number of people don't understand what WAV files are, what analog Midi is, what piano stream analog is, what Midi files on their own are. So I thought I would attempt to explain as best I can, and I'm no big expert, I just pick it up as I go along, and hopefully you will get something out of this. So first of all, I grabbed hold of a sound editor, Audacity or Audacity, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And if I pull this up here, you can see this is what music looks like. Now, this is a boring common or garden audio file. It can be a WAV file, it can be an MP3, whatever. It's just a music file. If I press play, it will do this.
And the money kept rolling.
Michael Crawford. Where's this from? Evita. That's where this is from.
Ava's pretty hands reached out and they reached wide.
So you've got a pretty visual idea of the left-hand channel, which is this one up here, the right-hand channel down there. So together they make a stereo track. And what we now need to do is take this track and make sure that we can put it into a format where your piano can understand it, and well, I can understand it actually, and add to that piano accompaniment. So let me scroll down. Actually, I'm going to mute this because when I next press play, it's going to make an even worse noise. And Exhibit B, if I unmute it. Okay, so the left channel is still at the top, and the music has been squished down into one channel. And this is the bit that when your piano receives this file, which is a WAV file, but it's an analog Midi file. Pretty easy to guess why it's called that, because it's all analog at the top and Midi down the bottom. I'll come to this bit in a minute. This file gets split into two. This half of it, the left-hand channel, or if you're QRS, it will be the right-hand channel, but everyone to their own. This is the bit that will be directed by your piano to the speakers, and that's the bit that you'll hear. But down here, this is a whole different ballgame. This is something called embedded MIDI, M-I-D-I, musical instrument digital interface, and it is not music. But what it is instructions for music, just like sheet music for your piano. You can't hear sheet music, but it does tell you what to do to your fingers and the piano keys in order that you can hear it. So imagine this right-hand channel as a candy bar, piece of chocolate, whatever. On the outside, these dark blue lines, this is the shell. This is the analog carrier, if you like, the wrapping. Because inside there is basically a modified Midi file that is like Morse code, except really, really fast. And this code tells the piano what to do. MIDI is extremely complex, but it's not as complicated as you think. Midi's instructions tell the piano which keys to press. It tells the piano how long to press the key for, and controls things like the velocity. Ooh, there's a new word. Velocity. The speed at which the hammer will hit the strings. And I'm sure you've worked out that the faster the hammer travels, the harder it will hit the strings and the louder the noise will be, because there is no such thing as volume in MIDI. It's only velocity, speed of the hammer. The only way that you could ever control the velocity once it's left this file is with the master volume control on your piano. So this file here, this analog MIDI file, this is piano stream analog, and this is also the WAV files that I know a lot of you play. So if I press play, you're going to hear that thing that a lot of you have begun to hate. There it is. It's actually a different song. This is Michelle by the Beatles. And if I use the balance control and I push it all the way to the left, that's just the Beatles. If I push it all the way to the right hand side, that's the MIDI sound. That sound that sounds like an old-fashioned fax machine, but your piano thinks it is wonderful. It understands it and it turns it into sets of instructions for the keyboard. So this is piano stream analog. This is the WAV file. If you've ever wondered what this bit in the middle actually looks like, if I mute this and I scroll down to Exhibit C, let me unmute it. This is weird, isn't it? This doesn't look anything like the other two files, because this isn't analog. This is a digital file, dots and dashes, and you can pretty much see what I was saying earlier about what MIDI does. Obviously, these are the notes, and these are the key presses, and as you can see, the sustain pedal will come and hold this one down for a bit longer, that one for longer still, and you get the idea of MIDI. Now, when I press play on this MIDI file, technically you can't hear MIDI, it's computer code, but the laptop or your iPhone or whatever will interpret this with its own little tone generator and give you a representation of the song. So if I press play, here it comes. Get the idea? So that is what's called raw MIDI, and this file, this is piano stream digital. So that's why we have the two different channels, piano stream analog for piano plus audio, and MIDI all on its own. I hope now that you have a slightly better understanding of the different file types. There's a lot more to this, but going back to my favourite film, I've tried to explain it like a 4-year-old would, or a 4-year-old would understand it. And you should watch Philadelphia. It is a really good movie. So if you have any questions or you need some more information, you know where to find me. Thanks. See you soon. Bye.